Buenos dias, this is Kaipacha with the weekly Paleo report for November 4th of 2015. Astrology for the soul. It's a little perspective on what's going on with the planets and the signs of astrology and the zodiac. Last week I showed you what things looked like from outer space, and today I want to just take you on take you through the charts a little bit and show you what I'm talking about, because I don't want to overwhelm you, but life is probably overwhelming you right now because there is so much going on, as you can see. Blah! The big thing that I want to really point out here is number one, Uranus at 17 degrees of Aries in a quincunx aspect to Jupiter at 17 degrees of Virgo, in an exact opposition to 17 degrees Chiron in Pisces. This is like super, super powerful. And what else is going on besides that? I'm going to talk about what that means. But what's also going on over a long period of time is this Saturn is in this square to Neptune. And, I actually have this whole big series going on for the new paradigm astrology community, where I'm taking this Jupiter opposite Chiron, which is also coming into a square with Saturn all through 2016. I'm doing a 3 or 4 part series on this T-square because it's going on for the next 12 months or so, and it's like a real powerful shift in human consciousness. But I want to talk a little bit more today just about, this is just a weekly report. But you can see even also besides that, right, Pluto here is at 13 in square to Uranus. I've been talking about this Uranus square Pluto since October of 2012. But the fact of the matter is Uranus is going retrograde back down to 16, 15 degrees. Pluto's coming up to 14. I mean, these guys are still in square. In fact, they're really finishing off and completing a 3-year square, which is a revolution. Uranus's revolution, okay, with Pluto, of all of what we used to look towards for authority and security and dependability. So this is like a, we're going through a very unstable revolution in consciousness that is very scary and threatening all of what we used to rely on, to be stable, solid, and secure. On a more, like I say, weekly basis here, let's go with a little bit. You can see here Venus at 25, conjunct Mars. I talked about that Venus-Mars conjunction last week. I'm going to look at it a little more, but let's just move it forward. Moon is here in Leo. Here she goes. Moon moves into Virgo on Wednesday. Yeah. Continues on through Virgo, joins Jupiter. Yes, in that inconjunct aspect. And Venus is getting closer and closer and closer until the moon comes in. We have, on Saturday we've got this Venus, Moon, North Node of the Moon conjunction. And the North Node of the Moon at 0 degrees of Libra is there for quite some time. And I want to talk to you about the Sabian symbol for 0 degrees of Libra, particularly because not just the moon, but as you can see, dun, 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 dun. On Sunday, Venus goes into Libra and exactly conjuncts the North Node of the Moon. Very, very powerful. At the same time, we also have what is called the finger of God, or the Yod. The sun has moved coming into this connection with Jupiter, Uranus, and now the sun, and soon it's going to be Mercury. I mean, you can see I'm going to go a little farther ahead here because you can see, oh my God, by November 11th, we've got this Mercury, Moon, Sun, okay, all in this inconjunct aspect, which is an adjustment aspect. we've got some major adjustment to do here, folks. And it has to do with what we believe and what we're seeing as reality, right? And now Mars comes up to the north node of the moon. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I want to just say that, this weekly report that I give, okay, has to be taken in a larger, broader context that I really don't have the 15, 20-minute Pele report. Is just, there's no way it can contain, all of the depth of evolutionary transformation that we are all going through right now. And I wish I could bring more, but I want to try to find ways to do that. But let me talk into the camera. Just wanted to, give you this little bit of a, a taste of, and a visual, of what I'm talking about, in these reports, from different perspectives. So let me go out underneath the banana tree and talk at you soon. Okay, well, like I said, at the computer, I could talk for hours about what the hell is going on these days. It's intense. This is a time, like I said, of major adjustment. And adjustment's not fun. And adjustment can be scary. And adjustment can be irritating. And there can be shocks and surprises. This Jupiter-Uranus is shocking and surprising, and it's just like you can wake up every day and just like get, more news and more news and more news. And what is all this about? I'm feeling like, this Virgo is a sign of initiation from Leo to Libra, from the self, and I've got my purpose and my ideas and everything, and it's a socialization process. And that socialization process is a giving up of my independence or my way or my view or my truth or the way I see things in order to socialize, in order to meet the other, compromise, cooperate, get into this bigger community, bigger society, bigger global consciousness. And it is overwhelming. It's just like this is dealing with, forces beyond our control. The socialization process is that I can feel overwhelmed, like I am smaller. I am a mouse against a lion. Like I thought I was so big and I had answers and I'm special and I got all this going on, and all of a sudden it's humbling. Virgo is about humility. And the quincunx aspect of 150 degrees is about humbling. So it's like getting shot, getting broadsided, getting humbled, being wrong or being criticized or being, and it's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. I thought I had it all together. Or I thought I, was a new paradigmer with a new, vision, and everybody was just going to like fall down and and love it. It's like, well, maybe not. There's this adjustment. It's like I need to like adjust my vision or adjust my approach or adjust my communication, in order to meet, something that's like something that could swallow me, something that is bigger than me, something that is like, the governments or the banks or the army or the economy or the, even, my spouse or, partner or community. It's like we can't control things. And this humbling thing is like we're not as big as we thought. And it's really, so it's pretty trippy. The Jupiter-Uranus conjunction was back in January of 2011. Okay, at like 27, 28 degrees of Pisces. And now we're coming into, so, there was like this vision, and remember, that was before, 12/21/12, where that was going to be the big new shift in the end of the Mayan calendar. And, there was a lot of excitement and a lot of, opening to new consciousness and new awareness, and we create our own realities, and let's, create this new paradigm, and da-da-da-da. A lot of optimism, Pisces, no boundaries, fantasies, dreams, infinite potential. Well, now that fantasy, that dream, that infinite potential And it has a kernel of truth, right? There's a seed of truth. There is this, yeah, that's, you know, it's not lost, but it's like really big. And now it's like coming down to, you know, the rubber hits the road. How do we implement this new vision? How do we walk our talk? How do we really, you know, affect change? And it involves letting go of a lot of old beliefs. And we've got childhood wounds. We've got childhood belief systems that have been imprinted on us before we were conscious. You know, age 1, 2, and 3 is, you know, even in the womb, you know, there's a lot of imprinting, there's a lot of conditioning, there's, yeah, and these are limiting core beliefs. And Jupiter Uranus wants to break out of and break through, like the sun just broke through, those limiting core beliefs in order to expand. And yet it's like really scary letting go of the recipes and the instructions and, you know, the emotions and the memories and the security. There's security in the known and the familiar. And we're moving into the unknown and the unfamiliar. And it can be mind-blowing and threatening. I got this shirt on. I got to go for it, you know. It's like, you know, this is this new... You know, it's like the new me, and it's peeling off the masks, peeling off the skulls, peeling off the old. We are like snakes, shedding our skins. And that's got to feel kind of weird and kind of scary to like let go of that skin. And it's like we're vulnerable and we're sensitive, and it's like, whoa, we can be hurt. And it's like sensing our own mortality. It's very interesting, the Sabian symbol for 0 degrees of Libra, which is where the moon's node is, and the moon came around, I showed you, and Venus is coming around. You know, this symbol is a perfect butterfly impaled by a dart in like a collection. You know, like if you collect these, you know, if you collect a butterfly or something, it's like you take your pin or your needle and it's frozen for like, you know, all time in your butterfly collection. But it's like this death, like we have to die to ourselves in order to perfect ourselves. We have to like crucify the past in order to resurrect into this new paradigm, this new world. And so a lot of us, you know, a lot of this is just a time of, guess what? That's limiting, or that's wrong, or you thought that and it's no longer valid, and there's a lot of correction. Yeah, Virgo is analytical, and let's, you know, get into the nitty-gritty. You said that, but you're doing that. You know? Or you thought that you were this big, and actually you're only this big. You know, or you thought you had this much money, and you've only got this much money. You know, you thought you had this much power, you've only got this much power. It's like notch down. And what is the thing that can happen with this? And this is the Jupiter opposite Chiron, you know, is that there can be a lot of blaming and a lot of projecting and a lot of, you know, if the world was this way, then, you know, I would be successful. And if you would, you know, listen to me, you know, we could work together. And it's like, it's like hard to sacrifice our position. It's hard to compromise. And it's hard to, you know, what do they call that, you know, when the companies downsize. You know, Virgo's about efficiency, and some of that efficiency is downsizing from the grandiose Leo, downsizing in Virgo to get to the essential that we then, you know, bring into Libra. And all I can say is I think it's going to, there's a couple of different things going on. This Uranus-Pluto square is intensifying through November and December. Saturn Neptune is intensifying through November and December. So in the long run, we're kind of like, you know, in the orange. I think of making orange juice. We're getting like juicified. You can just feel yourself like there's a grind happening here, you know. But it's like really intense, I think, now as Venus, you know, is in Virgo and Mars in Virgo, and Mars is approaching the North Node. I even think in some ways, after the 15th of November, when Mars and Venus both get into Libra, out of Virgo and into Libra, there's going to be a shifting and a lightening, and Libra is an air sign, and we're going to kind of, you know, in some ways get over some of this. And of course, when the Sun gets out of Scorpio, oh my God, and Mercury gets out of Scorpio, Scorpio is the death and the dying. Scorpio is the dart. Like I say, I could talk forever about this. I don't know, you know, I mean, it's like what we have since Mercury went into Scorpio, and now that Mars is in Virgo, we have what's called a mutual reception in astrology, where Mercury rules Virgo, and it's in the sign of Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars. Mars rules Scorpio, and it's in the sign of Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. So when you get a mutual reception like this, okay, it deals with the, you know, the quincunx of Mars and, I don't know, I'm not going to get into too much astrology, but it's like Mercury wants to do what Mars does, and Mars wants to do what Mercury does, and there can be like this kind of like, it's a time of irritability, it's a time of impatience. It is a time of speaking before thinking, and like, you know, just like really willfully impressing ourselves and arguing and fighting and violence, and it's just like I'm feeling like overwhelmed, and I am going to like come out with all my cannons blowing, like, you know, Six Gun Sam, you know, back off. I mean, this can be like this real, like, if, you know, when you get scared or you get backed into a corner, or you're feeling like, you know, you're not appreciated or not wanted or not being listened to, you know, this can be a time where you just want to like ram your ideas down other people's throats, or you want to get your way because you've had it. You may be feeling that. I'm talking to you. It's all right. Feel. You can feel it, but you know, it's time to not be over forcing the situation. It's like this in these challenging times. You got to breathe. You got to chill. I just posted on my Facebook page, you know, nature. You know, the remedy. The remedy is nature. You know, hug a tree. Watch the stars. Stay up all night long and just, you know, watch how slow, you know, and how patient the universe really is. Because if you don't, and you get all mentally wound up and all this kind of stuff, you're going to give yourself, this can be a heart attack, man. Virgo is around health. This is ulcers, this is stress, this is, you know, we're sensitive, and we're realizing how sensitive we really are and how vulnerable we really are. And it's beautiful. I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to downplay it, you know. Just like a beautiful, intricate flower or an orchid, you know, each one of us is like really super sensitive and beautiful and loving and innocent and open. And yeah, we need to like back in, back off. And don't take it personally. This is also a time, and I'll get into the mantra now because I can just ramble on for freaking ever. On assignment in a foreign land, seeking truth to understand, I find there's way more than I thought. More than my teachers ever taught. This is a time of maybe getting our minds blown, getting surprised and shocked. Uranus is the planet of trauma, surprise, and unpredictable events. Jupiter is a lot of them. that trigger our wounds, opposite Chiron. And this is just like, it's time to, like, in making this, mantra, I also thought of like the scientist gathering data. Look at this as a time of, we've got new philosophies and new, a new knowing of what is potential and what is true. And then we have like what is, and they're not meshing, they're not making sense. It can be very, very confusing. So the thing is to not get lost in what is and not want to escape into what could be, but to be in that detached Aquarian space, of, okay, I'm not going to understand this right away. It's like I'm in this school, I'm in the laboratory here, I'm gathering data. And it's time to, like, just say, you know what? It's like I feel like I'm an old Star Trek fan. It's like we've just landed on another planet, and there's alien life forms, and we don't. It's like we don't know everything. And it takes time and patience and gathering and learning and listening to the environment, to what is, but also holding to what I know I am and what is possible, and the two will meet, but we're not going to know. We're not going to know for a while. This quincunx goes like really slow. Like I said, we got this yod coming. I'll talk about it more next week. But we're not really going to know, at least until Jupiter opposes Uranus, and that's going to be in the early 2017. In fact, I'm planning a Costa Rica astrology conference right when Jupiter's opposite Uranus in February of 2017. But hey, what the heck? That's a long way off. We're still, prisoners of time on this planet. So hang in there. I'll say the mantra once again before I turn this thing off. What is it? On assignment in a foreign land, seeking truth to understand, I find there's way more than I thought, more than my teachers ever taught. Break out of what you have been taught and assimilate. Yeah, there's like way more than we've been given, but we nonetheless have the truth within us to master this earthly reality. Scorpio's about mastery. Sun's in Scorpio. Blah, 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 man. Namaste. Aloha. Good luck. Kai Pancha's signing off.